Louisville, Jackson State. I don't want to speak for J-Man, but I'm gonna speak for myself. This is the first preview I've done all year where both teams have played a game, so that's pretty cool. We have something to go based off of. Um, this game is being played at the Yum. I want to say also for Louisville, it is. So this is the tune-up to November 11th. Biggest game of the non-con, in my opinion, Louisville, Kentucky. Very, very excited for that one. I think that was going to be very fun. I really like this Louisville team. I think they have some flaws in the front court. Obviously, I love Michael Brown. I have been pretty adamant that I think Darius Acuff gets picked above Michael. That's not a slight to Michael. Um, if I'm on a video with Cart, I might frame it that way just to poke a little fun at the Louisville fan in Cart. But that's not a slight to Michael. I think Darius Acuff is just that good that like I think this is a four-person draft for who's going to go number one, not three personally. I really love Acuff, but I thought Michael looked phenomenal against South Carolina State. Uh, didn't know that was a school, so I want to salute Louisville for finding them and figuring out how that they had a basketball team because I think that was harder than anything that could be done on the court against them. But understanding like, hey, like you guys have jerseys, what about shoes? Got both? Okay, yeah, I guess we can play. Um, so, but I thought Louisville looked really good against South Carolina State. J-Man, what did you see from Louisville against South Carolina State you think will transfer not just to Jackson State, not just to Kentucky, but this is a team that has Final Four aspirations. Like when the sleeper boys get to Indy, I'm a big like we all got to go to the Final Four guy. I'm going to rally the troops. Do you think Louisville will be there?
I think they definitely have the talent to be there and the coaching staff. And shout out to the MEAC, South Carolina State. I'll back you up. The MEAC, shout out MEAC. But Louisville, I mean they're loaded. I mean, I know it was South Carolina State, but Ruth's coming off the bench having 20 on 8 of 12. It's like, what the hell? Like that's crazy. And then I mean the backcourt of Mikel Brown, Isaac McNeely, just I didn't think South Carolina State was going to score a point in that game. I mean, it was for 59 to 50, 59 to 15 at halftime. I'm like, oh my God, call it. It looked like me when I played in D3 when we had to play our bye games and we were getting smoked against like App State, who finished like 12 and 20 in that season. We're not going to score a point. And so it was brutal. But I've been there, done that, so I have sympathy for them. But Jackson State coming into town, it's a weird sandwich spot, like in terms of not sandwich spot for upset material, but when we get to the point spread later, like low look ahead spot where, like you said, Louisville plays Kentucky following the game, and I really, dude, I love Louisville's backcourt. I love the roster, but I love that backcourt. Mikel Brown, Isaac McNeely, Hadley, like they're talented. Ryan Conwell is a guy too, and Mikel Brown had only 11 points and he had 6 assists, but he only had 11 points against South Carolina State because he was not needing to be aggressive. And then McNeely, I said again in our top 100 player countdown, we had Isaac McNeely ranked, and I was like, look, I have a lot of stock in him because he showed that he could score the ball as the number one guy at UVA in that system. Now you get a point guard that's Mikel Brown to give you free looks where you don't have to force everything at the when you play mover blocker. And you saw it in game one with 17 points, 5 of 11 from three. He's going to be a guy that I really am going to keep an eye on this year to really just continue to rise for them. And yeah, so going against Jackson State, I think that continues with that efficiency. And this is one of the teams that scored over 100 points in college basketball week one or game one.
Yeah. The McNeely stuff, I agree. I think a lot of times people transfer and their role like expands, right? Like, or they play up a role, or they even, I'm gonna use Boogie Clan as an example. They transfer to a spot that like might be a role that's way different than they've ever had to play before. And they have to completely change their game. McNeely is transferring into his role, I would say, right? Like a lot of people and I'm not saying McNeely's an NBA guy by any means, but I think a lot of these dudes play like a role in college, high school, and then they get to college, they play a different role, and then they get to the NBA and they finally play the role that their game fits. because they're playing against the most talented people in the world. McNeely, I think, transferred into the role that his game fits perfectly. You rarely see stuff like that. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just like, hey, this school's offering me a lot more money than anybody else. But no matter what the reasoning is, like kudos to him. I think he's um, unlike a lot of people, like in the perfect spot. And I firmly believe this. Role players, if you star in your role, you make star money. Rich Paul always says that. I hate that I'm quoting Clutch, because can't stand Clutch. But I do think it's true. Like there's stars in your role. Isaac McNeely is one of those guys in college basketball, and he's the perfect fit next to Michael Brown. Two, one of my biggest takeaways from the Louisville, South Carolina State game, and I'll be honest with you, I only watched the first half because I knew them dudes weren't playing in the second half. Um, but from that first half, Michael's the guy. No questions about it. No questions about it. And one of my issues with the BYU game is I got questions about who wants to be the guy on that team right now. Like, does Rob Wright view himself as like, give me the ball, AJ? Does Reggie Saunders view it like, AJ, like, I'm not watching you get buckets. I'm gonna go get buckets. And I think there is some identity issues with BYU. None of that with Louisville. None of that with Louisville. Here you go, Michael. You do your thing, and when you're ready, we'll be here waiting. It's very Darren Peterson like at Kansas. I think you kind of even saw it with Cam Boozer at Duke. Isaiah Evans went nuclear, so I don't really I, like you didn't get to see it as much because Cam kind of deferred. And that, by the way, like that was we'll get into it. We recap will be up on the channel for that as well from J Man and I. But that was a great Isaiah Evans performance. But um, I don't like identity stuff with these teams. I think matters. Louisville has no questions about what their identity is. And going into that November 11th game, I think that matters against Kentucky. I also think it matters against a Jackson State team that pulled up to Illinois and absolutely stunk the building up. Mo Williams, put a suit on, man. Like, I'm not a big dress code guy, but you had a hood on, dog. Like, I'm okay with the sweatsuit stuff, but you can't rock a hood. So, Mo, I'm watching you in this game. But is there anything from Louisville you're looking to? I don't want, like, I don't want to say you're on Kentucky for that November 11th game. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but is there anything Louisville can show you that would sway your opinion in a more positive Louisville manner?
Not really. I'm already pretty high on Louisville. And against no offense to Jackson State, but like a cupcake, back-to-back cupcake teams, like I'm not going to get an answer to if I had any questions against these two teams because, they're going to light it up like they did in the first game. But the answer to whatever questions I may have will be the Kentucky game. But look, I mean, they're 104 points. I don't care who you played. That's impressive. And McNeely, we were just talking about him, obviously, but he still had 13 shots. And you're talking about like transition to a role. I think that role would just be easier shots. And last year he had like 45, 42, 83 splits, averaging 15 a game. He might average 17, 18 a game at Louisville by shooting even more. Like, there's a real chance this dude could shoot 50% from three because he's getting so many clean looks because of what the Louisville offense can be. I mean, he shot 45% at UVA. Like I said, with like pull up threes, he was a one man wrecking crew. Like you go from playing with TJ Power to playing with Mikel Brown, you're going to get a lot of more open looks. And um, this offense dude is just so fun. And then we saw last year what Louisville did. You're basically going from worst to almost first in the ACC, playing Duke in the AC championship game. And so Pat Kelsey can coach his ass off. His whole staff has been with him for a while now. They're fantastic, and I think they'll continue to click on all cylinders against Jackson State, and yeah, and then obviously against Kentucky is going to be a hell of a matchup.
That Kentucky game is going to be phenomenal. Sonata Fruit held his own. Kanai Roos had 20.7 rebounds in 22 minutes. It was South Carolina State, but the front court didn't look like they were going to have any issues. If there was one thing, like I guess you kind of have to nitpick ever so slightly. I mean, ever so slightly, Louisville fans, please, please don't be mad at me. Not a lot of Adrian Woolley. Not a lot of Adrian Woolley. And I think he's going to have to step up in a bigger way than he did in game one. But it was game one against South Carolina State. Adrian Woolley's coming from Kennesaw State. Great pull by me there. I did not think I was going to get that for a second. I don't think he came to Louisville to play South Carolina State. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to South Carolina State, but that ain't why he's here. And I think you kind of got a performance from a guy that's like, I'm here for this Kentucky game. I'm good off the South Carolina States of the world. I'm good off the Jackson States of the world. Um, I want to play against Kentucky, and I just don't think you got the most what's the way to put it, like inspiring performance from Adrian Woolley. Didn't need it though, so that just is what it is. Um, I'm gonna make a executive call here. We're not gonna talk Jackson State because Mo, put a suit on, man, or take your damn hood off. One of the two. Like I genuinely have no issues with like the dress code stuff, but like he looked like he was going grocery shopping. Like I'm not like you have to wear a suit as a coach, but you have to like look like you're at work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think I could wear his outfit to my 9 to 5. It was just it didn't look like they knew. G said this on the recap we did for Illinois Jackson State. It looked like Jackson State thought they were playing a secret scrimmage, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's fans and TVs here." Whoops.
That's a
So
good way to put it. That's a great way to put it because that was. I mean, I only watched a little bit of that game because it was not going to pique my interest. And then I saw the box score and I was like, oh my God, 113 to 55. And I honestly think that's what's going to happen in this game. I think it's going to be, I think Louisville's going to get back to 100 points. Jackson State's going to get right at 50. And then they're just going to move on to their ways. Jackson State, whoever they play next, good luck. And then Louisville, you're ready for Kentucky.
yeah, I mean, I got Louisville by 40. Very uninspiring stuff from Jackson State. A team that like in the build up to that Illinois game too. I was on the full episode cart and we named it one of our most watchable games. I do still think it was because Illinois is phenomenal. But part of my thought process was like Mo Williams has put together good teams at Jackson State. He's put together competitive rosters that have played at brutal non-con schedules and held their own. They didn't do that, and like I said, with all due respect, Mo Williams, like the outfit was crazy. It just you're not picking your mail up, man. I'm sorry. So, for J Man, I'm Dion. We'll be back for the recap. L's up, man. L's up.